So the chapter is about depreciation. Okay, this is chapter 16. And usually depreciation is very helpful when we are applying for taxes and trying to get our, asset depreciation organized. What we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about straight line method. We're going to talk about DB and DDB. Those are the main topics that we are going to discuss. And then you have the MACRS, which is used by American companies. So let's get started. Okay. First of all, what's a depreciation? When we talk about a depreciation in this chapter, in this, in our course, we are not considering the land, okay, and we are not considering the natural resources, and that's why by the end of the chapter, we do not call, natural resources, hey, they are depreciating. We say they are depleted, okay? So it is a depletion. It is not depreciation. So natural resources, they we call them, depleted or depletion, okay? Not depreciated or depreciation. So you have to be careful here when we use these terminologies. You cannot say, hey, my natural resources were depreciated. No, we say what? They were depleted, okay? They were depleted. And the process, we call it depletion method, okay? The method, we call it depletion method. So when we talk about depreciation, we consider stuff that we use, whether it's instruments, books, equipments, so many things that we use in our daily life, but not apartments or natural resources. So the definition of the depreciation is, it is a book method, okay, non-cash. It's a book method. I can utilize certain methods to represent the decrease in the value of any asset, okay, that I own, other than natural resources or real estate, like apartments or lands, okay? So we have two types usually of, depreciation. We have the book depreciation and we have tax depreciation, okay? Book depreciation, this is something as a company I do for my business, okay? I do for my business so I can track the value of my assets. Tax depreciation, this is not something, related to me as a company. It is related to the laws that the government, states for taxes laws and others. So this is the difference. So sometimes book depreciation might differ than tax depreciation. So in book depreciation, I have maybe my own ways and methods to track my value assets. So let's say I might say in my book depreciation, and as I know, as I said before, depreciation is the decrease in value, okay, of a tangible asset. Tangible is something I can touch. I can, it's visible. It is not an idea. It's not a dream. It is not something does not exist. No, something I can sell. I can give it to people. I can own it, okay? Tangible. So other than what land or real estate or natural resources. So when I say depreciation, that means, hey, I want to know the car that I buy today, how much would be in value after 2 years? Because, the car value will go down, okay? I bought a laptop. Let's say I have 200 employees. If for everyone I bought a laptop. So those 200 laptops, how much those would be after a year from now? What's the advantage? What's the advantage of this? The advantage of this, I can tell, that's going to help me. Let's say that's going to help me for taxes purposes, okay? Because it's going to show me how much I am spending, and how and that might affect what my taxes bracket, or how much taxes I will be paying, because in certain ways, I can show, when I show I am spending this much on my business, maybe my taxation will be less, and so many other reasons. So now, in order to calculate the decrease of the value of my car here, or my laptops that I bought for my employees, I need to know how much is it per year. Okay, so here what do I say? I say, hey, I have two ways. Either you can use your own internal depreciation method. Okay, so let's say my method will be 10% every year. It's up to you, you need this kind of method. Okay, but when it comes to the government, no, it's not up to you. You cannot use your 10%. Maybe 10% for you the first year. Second year, based on the government's laws, taxation laws, hey, they are gonna tell you, hey, it's 25%. So that's why we have to be careful. Okay, for everyone has advantages and reason behind them. In USA, for instance, in USA we use something we call what? MACRS. Okay, in Canada they use something else. While for book depreciation, we can do it based on any method. It's up to us. Example, for instance, let's say I want to buy a car. So when I want to go buy a car, the car, let's say today is $20,000. I would like to know how much the car would be, how much the price of the car would be 2 years from now. So let's say I buy a Ford car, $20,000. I want to know how much I can sell it later on. Is it worth it to keep? Should I, buy different brand, different model? So now, using your blue book in USA, okay? So this is, for this website, for instance, I just took a screenshot of it. Okay, this website, you can go and it can tell you, hey, what are the values of the cars, okay? So they have, for sure, their algorithm. They have their own method. So this is here for Kelly Blue Book, for instance, and I'm not here making advertisement, but it's very well-known website. Okay, it can get a book depreciation, but using their algorithm or method. Okay, so depreciation is a way I can represent what is the value, or the value, or the value of my equipment, instrument, tools, after a year, 2 years, 3 years. Okay, so it's very nice method to apply. Now, what kind of method? Before I say nice or not nice, what kind of method? At least I have a method. Okay, at least I have a method. I'm using certain logic. Now, which method I'm gonna use? If it is for your internal accounting, I don't care. It's up to you. But when it comes to taxes and something very official, no, you have to follow, the American tax depreciation method. Okay. Now, what are those methods we have? We are gonna talk about straight line. Then we are gonna talk about DB and DDB. Okay. In the beginning, let's go over certain terminologies, because some of them might create a problem for us if we do not go over them while solving some equations. Okay, the first one we have is B. B, okay, in the previous sessions, we used to call it very similar to initial cost, very similar to first cost P. Here we don't call it P anymore. We have to call it what? B, okay? This is the first cost. So when I'm buying a new car and I pay $20,000, I will say, hey, P is equal to $20,000. That's B, okay? So it is my first cost. Clear? Now, Another thing, this is the cost of my asset, total installed cost of the asset. So this is my first cost of the asset, okay? Secondly, we have here something new. We never had it before in other chapters. We call it book value. Book value, it is BV. B as in boy, V as in value, okay? BV. What's a BV? BV, okay, it is the book value of my car. So let's say I bought my car here, we said the $20,000. After a year, okay, how much it would be? So a year means the time is 1 year. So here, T will be what? Will be 1. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see that. Okay, let me go here. Okay, one more time. Okay, that's what I had here. So this is my B. Let's say I got here $20,000. Okay, I bought my car for $20,000. Okay, this is my first cost or installed cost of the asset. Okay, so $20,000. After 1 year is how much? You tell me, oh, so you're going per year. So T is per year. The unit is what? Year. So after year, we have something we call book value after 1 year. Okay. After 2 years, it will be PV2 and so on. Okay. This is the book value. What is a book value? The book value? It is, as you see it here, it is the remaining, okay, undepreciated capital investment in year T. It's the remaining of undepreciated. Okay, we're gonna see some examples and we'll make it way much clearer. So it is book value, it's the remaining undepreciated capital investment. Why I'm saying here undepreciated? Because depreciation is what I have to find. I have to calculate, and find the depreciation value. The book value is how much my, how much my car after 1 year. So let's say, let's say my initial cost or total installed cost, okay, for of that car was $20,000. If I tell you the book value of this, I went to a website like Kelly Blue Book, and it's telling me your car now, after 1 year, okay, from the time you bought it, it is $18,000. $18,000 would be B or BV1? It will be BV1, okay? What's the depreciation? We said here it is 20,000. Here I said Kelly Book told me, hey, it is 18,000. Okay, so it is 18,000. Okay, so it used to be how much? It used to be 20,000. Now the book value based on our friend here is telling us what? 18,000. So what's the depreciation? It's 2,000. 20,000 minus 18 is 2,000. This is, maybe this is easy to see. In some examples, maybe it is hard. Hard not to subtract them. It's hard to know how to get the 18,000. Someone has to give us this number. And that's also what we have to learn in this chapter. Okay? So this is a book value. It's not the real actual tax depreciation. I hope this is clear. Now we move on to recovery period. This is the interval of the depreciation in years. So between here, when I set PV1, 1 is not N. 1, this is, after a year. Okay, maybe if I want to do the depreciation study, I will say after 5 years. After 5 years, then how much is N? N equal how much? 5. Okay, but when I say give me the book value, okay, at year one. So basically what I'm getting BV1. How much is BV1? We said it's 18,000, isn't it? So this one here is not n, okay? This is n equals to 1, but in reality the total depreciation life of the asset is how much? 5. So 5 can be between, so by that, n can be what? Can be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. So I can get PV1, I can get what? PV2, okay, all the way to what? PV5. So at PV1, okay, at year 1, okay, at year 1, I can get book value 1. At year 2, I can get book value 2. At year 3, at year 5, I can book value 5. What is the depreciation life? Is it 1? No. Here I'm studying the depreciation at year 1. Here I'm studying the depreciation at year 2. But and if I have a depreciation, okay, for 5 years and I need it, then you have to tell me n is 5. It's not 1 or 2 or 3. Okay. When I do the next example, you are going to see this. You know, as a matter of fact, let me jump to it before I continue here. For example, let's say we are doing straight line depreciation. Straight line depreciation from math, you know, this is, you know, from your math background, this is a straight line, isn't it? This is a straight line. Okay, this is what? When we talk about straight line here, we can see a slope, isn't it? This is negative slope or positive slope? This is, you can tell it is a negative slope, okay? Positive slope, sorry. Positive slope, how is it going to look like? It's gonna be this way. This is a positive slope, okay? This is a positive slope. But this one here is a negative slope. So basically, I can tell from the beginning, here I'm gonna be dealing with what? I'm gonna be dealing with something like y equal, okay, y equal minus ax. I don't know if you can see it. Y equal, okay, minus ax plus b. Okay, I'm dealing with something like this. You don't have to be, I'm not telling you you should know this, but if you were good at math, okay, this is a good reminder for you so you can pay attention to it. Okay, so I'm looking for something like that, okay? You can see it. When x is 0, y is the maximum. When, you know, this is the maximum. When is y is the maximum? When this is 0, because this is negative, okay? This here is a negative. So once this is 0, I'm going to reach 20,000. Okay? The more of the value is, you know, for x, the less y will be. Okay? So now let's go back and see the question. And you're going to find it's very easy. You don't have to deal with this algebra thing. So you don't have to worry about it. This is just for some people who likes it. Why I said this? Because you can see it here. Okay? Because you can see it. If I compare my stuff here. Okay, don't you see it as very similar? Okay, you can see it very similar. This is minus ax minus td. Okay, b is b, y is y. Okay, so the reason I'm showing you this way, in case you want to draw it, it will make it easier on you. You don't have to be afraid of it. So let's say this is a straight line depreciation. What's a straight line depreciation? It is constant. Okay, it is what? It is constant. Why it is constant? If I take a look at Okay, this picture here, okay, this would help us a lot. I take a look at this and zoom in so we don't have to keep going back and forth. Okay, this here, guys, if I take a look at it, this is a constant, okay, constant. I don't see up and down, so it is a very nice, smooth slope. It's decreasing in a very constant way. So that's why we call it a straight line depreciation. How do I calculate that? This is very easy. You don't have to worry about the diagram at all, okay? We have, and usually those formulas are given to you. So we have depreciation at a certain time is B minus S divided by N. What did we say B? It's the first cost, okay? What is S? S is the salvage value. So how much you are gonna sell it after 5 years, okay? Okay, let me repeat this. B is the first cost. S is the salvage value after N period, okay? N period, not after a year or two, after N period. That means after the life of the asset is done, okay, is up. Okay, this is given, and this is given. Then this will be easy to calculate. So this is the salvage value, this is book value, and N is recovery period, okay, recovery period. Recovery period, and that's what we were discussing here. I don't know if we went through it, okay. Where is the recovery period? So we move a little bit here. Oops. Okay. Okay, I did not. Okay, I was talking about it here. I said, hey, this is depreciable life of asset in years. So it is recovery period N. Okay, this is how much the life of depreciation of an asset. So as you can see from this formula, and this is the easiest depreciation, and it's very straightforward. B is not affected by time because it's initial cost. S is also after the life, okay, of the depreciation is done or up, okay. This is also not related to time. And N is the life of the depreciated, equipment. So I will come back to this. Don't worry about it. Let me go back to here. They are telling me an argon gas processor has a first cost $20,000. So what's this $20,000? Okay, so this is B. So here, this is B. See it here? This is B, $20,000. With a $5,000 salvage value after 5 years. So we do not have a salvage value per year. We get the salvage value after what? The period of depreciation. Okay, the interval of the depreciation. It is not salvage value for year 1 or year 2. No, it's the depreciation related to N. N is the recovery period. So if the total depreciation is 5 years, the salvage value is how many years? Is after how many years? After 5 years. So here, if I take a look at this example, okay, they are telling me the salvage value after 5 years, okay. They are telling me find D3 whatever, okay. Before I come to that, okay, before I come to that example, let's do our example, okay. Let's do our example. So let's say let's do it ourselves. We go back to the formula. It's telling me dt, okay? dt is related to time. So what does it mean? I need a depreciation. What's the depreciation after 1 year? What's the depreciation after 2 years, 3 years, okay? In our example, we said here we have, okay, let's use this anyway. We have this $20,000. The salvage value is how much? This is $20,000. The 5,000. Yeah, but this 5,000, is it the depreciation after a year? It is the total, it is the salvage value after I'm done, okay? Everything is up. So salvage value is related to N, okay? It's not related per year. It's not related to T. This is T, guys, okay? This is T. The N is different than T. T could be at year 1, could be at year 2. Okay, this is T. You can see this is x-axis is a T. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is a T. This is the T value. But N is how much? Is the total interval. What's the total interval? It's 5 years. And the salvage value is for the total interval. Is that clear? It's not T1 or at T2 or at T3. So now, if we finish this, D1 will be how much? D1 means I need the depreciation at year equal 1. So this is 1. B is independent of the years. It's in the beginning, okay? It's $20,000. It's not related to T. 5,000 is how much is the salvage? Okay, and also, is the salvage related to T? No, we said no. And N also is not related to T. It's the total interval of that depreciation. How much is it? 5. So you can see now D1 is similar to D3. And exactly now D2 will be the same. D4 will be. So the depreciation here, we say it's constant. So SL, straight line depreciation, gives us what? Constant depreciation, constant D, okay? So whether it's D1, D2, D3, okay, and that's why we call it it's a straight line, okay? It's a straight line. Okay, and if in your based on your math, background, if I get the slope of this, what would be? I mean 3,000 here, and here how much it would be here? Okay, also 3,000. Okay, 3,000. What's the 3,000? It's the slope. Okay, it's the slope. It is like y. This is y. This is like y equal b, small b, minus what? Ax, isn't it? You can see if I want to apply my algebra, okay, basically x is minus a is what? Is the slope. Okay, in this formula, guys, where is a? This is a. Okay, this is a. So this is my slope. dt is my slope. B is b, and y is the book value. If I take a look at this diagram, I'm gonna zoom in. Actually, let's zoom in here. Okay, and let's bring this back. Okay. Okay, good. Now, if I take a look at this, I have book value is like y. This is y-axis. Okay, y-axis is the book value, and t is what? Is the x-axis, and that's why here, what did we say? We said, okay, this is similar to what we have. Okay, take a look at it. Make us a quick correlation. So now, if I took a look, BV is what? BV is y. Is y. This is BV. You can see it here. BV. Okay. BV is y. Okay. And B is this one here. T. What's T? It's the x-axis. The x-axis. Okay. This is x. So dt will be what? Would be the slope. Okay. Yes, And based on your math, stuff, I mean, all these are given to you, but just you want to understand it, you don't have to do it this way. So if I tell you this is y, and this is what now? This is, we said, exactly, this is a. Okay, this is what? This is a. Okay, what's the slope? What's the slope? So the slope would be, okay, y minus b, divided by t. Okay, will give me what? Will give me minus a, isn't it? Okay, so y minus b divided by a will be y minus a book value, I mean the capital, the b, okay, divided by t. Don't get confused between the b and, okay, and minus a. This is the, we said the initial cost, and this is our book value. Okay, initial cost, so always book value minus initial cost. That's what I want to go to, So every time what's happening? Every time what I'm doing? So basically what I'm saying, hey, this book value, okay, is going to get less per time, okay? But give me the depreciation. So if the depreciation is always 2,000, can I get B3, BV3? Yes, because this is always constant. So let's say now I have, this is $20,000. Always this is what? 3,000, because it is constant. You see it here? D1 is always a 3,000. D3, 3,000. D2 will be 3,000. So give me the slope value, which is the depreciation, okay? I can get you the book value. And also this is a given equation. So now if I want to solve for BV3, I have B, it's always constant. T, it's a variable. And this is always constant. Why? Because we said it is what? It is a straight line depreciation. So now if I want to solve for another one, okay, we are done from this depreciation stuff. Now let's say I want to solve for BV4. How much is it? I want to solve now for BV4. This is the same. T now is what? How much? Is 4. And dt is what? We said dt is always the same because it's straight line, okay? So this will be also 3,000. Okay. So, and this is 20,000. This as easy, as simple as that. So the only thing, will be changing here is t. dt here is the same, okay? This is the trick in straight line depreciation. And we proved it. D1 is this much, D3 is okay? Always 3,000. Now for straight line, this is very easy. And the other methods, you are going to see depreciation is changing. So the summary here, depreciation is in a straight line is constant, okay? The only thing is changing is what? It is not N, it is not N, it is not S, it is not N, okay? It is not N, it is not S, it is not B. What's changing only is the book value. Book value is changing. Why? Because T is changing here. This is constant, dt is constant. You do it once and it's forever. B is always constant. BV is changing, okay? BV is changing. Yes. So this is now about the straight line depreciation. Straight line depreciation. Next slide we'll be talking about another one, which we call it declining balance and double declining balance.